Hello, I'm Dr. George Machaki. Dr. George, as my students have called me. My peers, just George is fine. Today, this is part of my ePortfolio. The next section we're doing is section 4, evidence of impact and areas of growth. Right now, this is going to be a quick overview on evidence of impact feedback from students. What methodologies or methods or instruments am I utilizing to see how my design and my course and my information presented to the student is being received, and what mechanisms do I have in place to tell me that I'm on target, for lack of a better word. So this one says this what this overview is. I'm recording now. When you click on it, you'll see me in here as a recording. All right, I've utilized several ones. Now, here's the ones we're going to be looking at. If I'm going to section 4 here, real quickly, a quick overview. We're going to be talking what we're talking now. You're going to have the 1 0, which is the overview. This is it. Here's the external. We're going to look at the forum reflections. We're going to look at external weekly reflections. The students write to me weekly, tell me what they learned. We're going to discuss real quickly about Rate My Professor, and the students open their opinions, which I put at the end because I have a little comments on that. Okay, so when you're going to come in here on this one, so let's go. The external one is basically this one is here is when I'm looking at it from my last class. It was an entrepreneurship class from the insurance company, and I think it's Aon Insurance, if I'm not mistaken, and the Adult Fast Track program. So there's 4 and 4, eight's a smaller class. What I like about the summertime, smaller classes, I utilize the smaller classes, even the dean allows me to utilize the smaller classes as to try different methodologies, different methods, different tools I want to implement. Easier to see the results in a smaller group and see where you have issues or what doesn't work out with a class of 8 versus a class of 30 or 35, depending on the subject matter. What works, what doesn't work, how do I have the interaction? I have a smaller ratio to student, so I have a closer feedback and a rapport with the student because the smaller students are a little more comfortable. And in this group here is a cohort group, 2 different cohorts, but they know each other, so it's easier for me. It's like a small team, easier for me to learn, and I don't upset as many people as if I would do this in the spring or the fall, because of the number of the class size. I could learn and what works, what doesn't work, and how to tweak it, and what to look out for. It's still a risk. Remember, each class is different. I'm not saying that, but I just want to make sure that it flows the way I want it to flow. Okay, so what you have in here, I have where the heck is I have an artifact in here for those of you who are familiar with that. They click on the artifact, and it basically will give you the link. And I also have the PDF file in there. And this artifact here is basically from the discussion board from my Management 218. It's a blended class. I cover 22 chapters in 9 weeks plus a presentation week and the last major paper. So it's very intense. And so I try to not to do just all lecturing. I try to incorporate software from the publisher so they can do some of the math and videos already online because it's a blended class, half online and half face-to-face where I'm in here. And inside I'm trying to expand the critical thinking and not go through the mechanism of just doing the math problems, which I did. It gets boring. Students fall asleep. This class is from 6 o'clock to 10 o'clock. It's a 4-hour session. It's a long class, even with breaks in between. So I'm trying different things using software this way. So anyway, the discussion board, if it comes out here, right? So where the heck is here? Here's the discussion. It's a PDF file. And I've got the pictures in here. Try to cut out some of the stuff in here so you can see the individuals. It gives you the information on here, what they wrote, what I went back in here, what they liked on this class. All right. Now this is a discussion where I just cut and paste. So you know they're verified individuals. Okay. And I made the pictures a little bit smaller, but it still came out. Okay. So we have that one. So you'll have that one and look at it. The next one, you're looking at weekly reflection. Now the weekly reflections, a lot of times, see this one here, they could talk to me when I'm with the face-to-face, the feedback. It's a blended class. So I don't stress that much on them talking to me, like have the reflection. Now this class here is my marketing class. It's a fully on line class. I had another class. I made copy their responses. Again, smaller classes. Well, it's a spring class. I think it had like about 18 students. It's a sports marketing, very niche specific on this. Here they had reflections. Every week they had to tell me for 5 points. Always give them points on business. That's what motivates students. Some people, I don't want to give points. You gotta give points. It's in their mind. It's psychological. Come on, you know what I mean? Motivate students. And then if I have them in a face-to-face class, they get points for attendance. If they don't attend, or if they're doing a lot of sidebars, course management is management, I'll take some of the points away because it's not only for attendance, it's participation at a proper thing. So consider the point structure. It works well. Remember, it's instant feedback. Why did you take off points? Because you talked in the class. I had to stop the class 4 times because of sidebar. Or I add them a few extra points. Give them a little bonus. This is how you reward. Positive reinforcement for they did well. Give them 1 or 2. Look at 1,000. 1 or 2 points is not going to really skew that. But to the student, it's a reward. Okay. So anyway, it gives me some information. So on the fully online, the weekly, they'll tell me what they've learned. They have to have at least a paragraph, 300 words. I mean, a paragraph, at least a half a page. Let's see, about 150 to 200 words. Okay, I think it's 300 words because everything is sent to me electronically, and here to respond. And there, if they have any issues or any kind of complaints, they could also talk to me. I also have what I call in my class is what I call a water cooler discussion within the middle every couple of weeks in my fully online class. What kind of issues? Talk about anything you want. Is it a paper? Is it an issue? Is it a homework assignment? And that is open to the whole general class, like you would bring up some kind of issues within a face-to-face classroom. You have to understand some students are not very vocal. Maybe their culture, maybe they're shy. Maybe the other instructor took this seriously and gave them some bad point. All right, so you have to bring that relationship. Am I approachable? And that's what the face-to-face or in these reflection. Again, I have the link attached here, but I also had the artifact, whichever one works well. You know what I mean? The link's a PDF file. Again, I just cut and copied. It takes a few seconds. I click on this, or you click on the file, and it opens up in here. Again, you have the same thing. You have the questions. You have my responses, remember, because it's inside their discussion, how I talk to them. So everything still works out well. Are we good? That's your reflection on there. Okay. Now the last one is rate my professor. Now students look at that. Now rate my professor. Here's what I want to do. I come out of business. I get customer surveys. You have to understand, they talk about the tip of the iceberg or the bottom of the iceberg. The iceberg has a bottom. Remember, the tip is real here, the bottom is really big. So you have to look at the relationships between your good responses and your negative responses. Remember, your tip, you're going to get those that responded to you are really pissed off at you. And those at the bottom are really pissed off at you or upset with you. Okay? Because they basically, what they're doing is you got them so upset that they're going to write to you, complete the survey, or you did such a great service that they wrote to you also, and that's somehow you have to know how to motivate people. So okay, so I understand that. So I'm going to get a smaller response now, but the rate of my so here it's rating. So some people like it, will rate you, other people won't. So my number on for the College of Lake County is 4.8 out of 5, which is good, and my number for Harper College is I gotta just type that in there. That's the other one for Harper College is 4.7 out of 5, 1% off. But the difference that I've noticed, this is Harper College, I apologize. The difference that I've noticed is that when you look at how hard the class is, they rate it from 1 real easy to 5 very hard. So I had one that's 2, so that makes it 2. That's very easy at Harper, but similar ratings, similar classes, similar instructor, similar methodology working forward. But at College of Lake County, I received most of the students I received there was 3.8. So they found it harder than they did at Harper. So that means 2 things. Am I easier at Harper than I am at the College of Lake County, or are the students expected more than I do my research. I don't know. I haven't got into it. I'm just looking at the number. You see, so I'm going to say I should pick it up. If I'm making it too easy here, maybe because the student base is a little different or whatever, so I'm going to start ratcheting it up. Remember, it's only a very small sample. Again, it's only on 15 students, and I've been teaching for a while, and this the other one's about like 20 students also. So you take an average, and I'm about right, because they could also do all the schools that I teach at, the students respond to. Just remember, it's very small response on that, okay? Now, the next one we have is your student opinion errors. These are also in the PDF files. When I look at these, and I didn't do it as an archive, because here's what I think. When I was giving them face to face in the classroom before they went all electronic, I had a higher return because I've not forced them, but they had to complete it. I had to give them 20 minutes to complete it, so they did it. All right. Whether they were honest about it, because in their mind they figured Dr. George could still read it, even though he's supposed to put an envelope and the students take it away. Remember, students are students, just like me. You trust everything the establishment is telling me. Not necessarily, okay? Everything the government, not necessarily. But I'm cautious. Now, most of the time, they're looking out for better interest. That's how you take it. But in the back of your mind, I do consulting. Not what the laws are, not what's politically correct. What are they thinking? That's all marketing management. What are they thinking? Not what they're saying, but okay. So students, but I still had a pretty good feedback. They may not grade me real low or high, but at least I had, a confidence error was a little more because I had a higher return of the students, so I had a real good proportion of feedback that I could kind of give it a general, plus or minus 15, 20% confidence level. I'm a man, business, all that. Now that you're doing it, they turn it in. They don't even do it. I could remind them. Again, those who are happy may write something. Those who are upset will definitely write something because I failed them. Okay, so you have to look at that. But you only get like two. Look, all of these, I think I got two, 2, 3, 4. Four to max. What the heck? These are classes of 25 or 30 students are responding. So here's what you have to do. You have to change how you require students to do it. You have to make it mandatory. So when I, as an instructor, submit my grade, the final grade to the registrar, submit it to the students administration system, whatever, the grade book, and I submit it, an email should be sent to the student. Your grade has been submitted by your instructor to the registrar. You could view your grade. However, you have to click on this survey for that class and an instructor, and then but you have the option to say not now, whatever, like to do a survey or respond to it. This way, I have a good. You're not forcing them, legal, all that other stuff. As your HR takes care of it, but you're giving them the option and you're bringing it up to them at that point. Otherwise, why would they do it? I'm already here. Yeah, he was okay too. But and the other thing, make sure you put my face in it. One student comes to me after and sent me an email. Dr. George, I thought you were my English teacher. I wasn't paying attention. I graded you really bad, but you're okay. You know what I mean? So, are you okay? So that's it. So it's in here. So that is basically here. And then I think I'll do another video when I look at the, what do you call it, areas for growth. I already know certain areas for growth that I'm looking at. I may throw this in. Is again, I'm trying to make sure some of the feedback I get in my finance class, a little more lecture. I was trying to use the software for that and try to improve more on critical thinking. On the other ones, I look at it high or low. And I say, okay, I got one customer that's upset. I may look at it, but I'm still a little more cautious because I don't have the numbers to back it up to make a drastic change because it's the middle that's basically coming back and the middle that comes back to businesses. So I have to be able to capture the middle without alienating that individual. Okay, and then the other thing I'm looking at is feedback. So utilize more of the feedback. I'm trying to do more of a lecture online, being more interactive. That's what I do. What I mean. So they feedback, I respond. I like to almost do like you do with some of the alt media, some of the sites. When I'm on the blog, you could talk to me. So that's why I'm looking at utilizing Blackboard Ultra and have a regular classroom or at least a water cooler so a student could talk to me as the first step before I do a full lecture. This way I could see how it comes out and how I could manage a smaller classroom. All right. So that's it, and I'm finished. And my phone, it stopped ringing. So I got 14 minutes. So this is a quick overview on student feedback, and I hope you enjoy this ePortfolio.